Well, hey, how you doing? Marge says, hey, what's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got day 0 here. Day 0 of getting your paper wet, where we're going to talk about watercolor sketchbooking. What could be better than that? I don't know. Now, I'm glad you're here with me, okay? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to check your levels. What are you excited about today? That's what I mean when I say check your levels. What are you excited about? Are you excited? If you're not excited, you got to turn that excitement up, okay? You got that critical eye in the hole? Now, we talked all about that critical eye the sketchbook challenge, the 30-day sketchbook challenge. We talked about a lot of this stuff. If you didn't watch it, go back and check it out, okay? You missed out on a lot, but you'll catch up quick, so don't worry. I try to make all the videos short and to the point, you know? Ain't nobody got time to be wasted. Come on now. How's that schedule doing? You got that locked in? Because we're about to do it for 30 days. Now, this is just day 0, okay, guys? Introduction day, where we kind of get our feet wet, so to speak, right? Because we're going to get our paper wet. Now, people who did the 30-day sketchbook challenge, you do get a prize. I already said that. If you didn't DM me, you better hurry up and do it. Send me a message so I can add your mailing address to the list, because I'm about to mail all those out here pretty soon. So get her done, okay? All right. Now, all we're going to talk about today is the watercolor tools, the setup, and I'm going to give you a basic exercise to get started with your sketchbooking, okay? Now, I will show you guys my setup and all that good stuff, and it's important to note it. Now, I have a watercolor spritzer. Do you have that? It could be fine, doesn't have to be fine, but this is going to be important, because what you got to do is you got to go ahead and use this to spray off all your watercolors, okay? To warm them up. You got to get them lubed up too. Get them a little loosened up in the very beginning. I got my 3 brushes right here, my small, medium, and large. These are just round brushes, and they sit on a napkin. These are just paper napkins that absorb the water I set them on, okay? Then I got my tray right here with all my watercolors in them. Check that out. I just had some regular tube watercolors. Now, what I do is I just squirt them. Just like that. I walk away for a minute or two, let the water kind of warm them up a little bit. Come back after maybe 2 minutes, squirt them again. And if you're not wet enough, you squirt yourself a little bit, get a little wake up. And then guess what? You're ready to go, okay? Now, I do have a cup as well. I got my cup, where's she at? Right here. And I fill this bad boy up with water, okay? So I dip my brush in, get my water going, dip it in the watercolor, and we're off to the races, okay? So that's how we do that. Now, don't forget to also make sure that your watercolor paper, or your block, or your book, or your sketchbook, or whatever, sits on an angle, okay? Because you want that watercolor to be down towards the bottom of your page. You want the gravity to do the work. Because when we're talking about watercolor, we're really talking about 2 things, okay? We have to manage how wet the paint is. We have to manage how wet the paper is, okay? Now, you don't want your paper so wet that it pulls up, okay, people? But you don't want it so dry that it don't seep into the page, okay? Unless you're trying to do some kind of dry brush technique, and we'll talk about all that. We'll talk about all that, okay? We'll talk about all that good stuff. I got a pretty simple, fun one for y'all to do today, and you'll feel good about doing it. When you're done, you'll be like, yes, I got that done. It looks so good. All right. But really quick, I wanted to touch on something. I wanted to touch on how people out there have tried to turn art, they've tried to redefine art as a product to be consumed. Art's not a product, people. The thing that art makes, the product, the actual, image that it makes, isn't the purpose of art. The purpose of art is not to consume. The purpose of art is to refine your mind. Okay? Art is a process of refining your thought. Art itself is a reflection of the abstract refinement of your mind. You get what I'm saying right there? It's deep, okay? Beauty and symmetry are high expressions of refinement. When you do art, art is like going to the gym for your mind. You're learning how to organize thoughts. You're learning how to group abstract categories. You're learning how to reduce your choices to a simplified form so that you have a high success rate. You're learning how to produce under pressure so that the pressure doesn't impact your product anymore. You're learning how to make sure that stress doesn't contaminate your creation. You get what I'm saying? All of that is taking place inside your mind, and the artwork is the litmus test for how well you're doing up here. It's the indirect goal, how to access the refinement of your thought process. Think about that. So, just like maybe people go to gyms to refine their bodies, you know how they do it here. Big business, big business. They go to yoga classes, they go to Pilates, they go to, Kung Fu, Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, all of that to refine their bodies. People are going to go to art gyms to refine their minds in the future. Watch, mark my words. AI has become a crutch to disable a wheelchair to put your mind in so that you don't get strong, so that you're trapped in the choices that whoever is in control of AI presents to you. You don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want to be put in a hole and then not have the ability to climb out of the hole and make my own decisions. Is that what you want? Hell no. So come on, man. That's what this is. This is a refinement of our mind and an elevation of our lifestyle through the standards that we implement, the choices that we make. This world right here, this is our world. This is your world. You have complete control over it. Don't relinquish that control to another person. Instead, increase your control and refine your thought process, refine your lifestyle. That's what we're talking about here today, people. That's day 0 of the watercolor. So come on. I got my notes wet. They all rolling up on me, right? What about that, okay? What about that? All right. I think I got everything off my chest in regards to that. Now, I'm going to show you my watercolor setup. I don't have it right here, but I'm going to, through the magic of the camera, I'm going to put it up here in the corner. And you'll see it. And the goal today is I want you to go ahead and get your setup out, get it going, get your blue tape. You got your blue tape? Now, if you don't have blue tape, don't worry about it. You can go ahead and take regular masking tape and you pull it off like so. And then before you put it on your page, just go ahead and put it on your clothing like this and then pull it off. And then it won't stick so hard on your paper. It's a nice little trick, okay? And it won't rip your paper when you take it off. Now, what I want you to do is do what I did. I want you to make some tape lines like this, make long boxes, and then you start at the top with very concentrated watercolor and then draw it down to very weak watercolor. Okay, so you can see the white of the page at the bottom, and do that for all your colors. Okay, people? And then what I want you to do is I want you to take off the tape like I'm doing now. Oh, so nice. Ooh. Take off the tape. Oh, so nice. Woo. And have fun doing that because, man, that's really satisfying. Oh, take off the tape and it looks so clean. Look at those lines. So good. Now, I'm not going to do all the tape because I don't want you to have to sit here and waste your time watching me take off my tape. Unless you're into that kind of thing, then maybe I'll charge for it. I don't know. Okay? But check this out. So I'm taking off the tape. And look what I'm left with on the page. I'm left with some really nice professional gradients of my watercolor on my page. Now the important thing here is to show, hey, on this color right here, this is magenta, you can only get that concentrated and that dark. You can never go darker or more concentrated than that. So that's our limitation, okay? And that's how light it goes. And these are the values in between. Same thing with the orange, same thing with the yellow. Okay? Now you want to do that because these are your tools. These are going to become your tools in creating your image. So don't be retarded and try to go darker than this in magenta. That doesn't work. So we have to come up with another solution. Oh, I got those other solutions. We'll talk about that. But go ahead and take your tape, lay out these boxes, and do every single one of the colors you got so you can see what you got. Now, I don't want you to be, taking your ruler out, and I don't want you to mark, with a pencil and all that, the divisions so they're all equal. No, no, no. Don't do that. What I want you to do is I want you to eyeball it. I want you to try to eyeball and get the distance between your tape and the edge of the paper the same all the way across. And then the same thing for the top. And then lay down the first piece of tape right here on the edge and try to get the edge the same. Okay? Then rip your tape like this and use it as a spacer to try to give you an eyeball for the next strip of tape. All right? And just eyeball it. And then move your spacer over to the next one, and then the next one, and the next one, and keep going on down. Now, what we're practicing is not being constrained by the need to lay everything out perfectly. And we're also training our eye to make an easier calculation and an easier choice. So just try to put that there and say, okay, well, does that part of the tape right there at the very top look about the same? Yep, it does. Okay, lay it down and go on. It don't have to be perfect. Remember, perfect is the enemy of completion. We're just trying to complete this, okay? And then what I want you to do is do the watercolor, do the gradient, lay it all out, then pull the tape off, make a video of you pulling the tape off, and post it. Tag me on X, okay? Or take a picture of it. Tag me on X, all right? Now, one other thing I wanted to say before we get the hell out of here is that I got a Discord, okay? I'll put the link down below. Come join the Discord. We're going to have resources. We're going to do live streams there. We're going to talk about our artwork and everything like that, and just focus on refining our thought, okay? So when I'm not doing videos here, go on over to the Discord. Watch the videos. Talk to the people. We're going to have a good old community over there. Focus on improving art. Focus on improving art, okay? So come on. Get out there. Get that watercolor going. Get your page wet, people.